Arguably, we have two of the best cruisers on the entire planet in front of us, the Harley-Davidson Breakout and the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy. So which one should you go for? We're going to dissect it in this video. Both these bikes are drop dead gorgeous and brilliant to ride, and they share a lot of the same architecture, the same frame, the same engine, and pretty much the same back end. But from the front, they're very different motorcycles, and that affects how they handle and behave. So that's why the choice isn't as simple as you might think.
Now, aside from the looks, which we'll come on to in a minute, it's the handling that really separates these two motorcycles. And it's quite a bit different than you might expect, and especially getting off one and onto the other, you really feel like you're on a completely different bike, even though it's the same engine and the same rear end, etc. Because this Breakout has got a much more raked out rake, about 4 degrees more, and it's got a bigger, in terms of diameter, front wheel, but narrower. So that gives you very different handling, and the bars are more straight. So I think this bike feels a little bit more stable in a straight line and at motorway speeds, and a little bit more confidence inspiring in the twisty lanes, because it's actually a very beautiful handling motorcycle. And some people might not say that, but this actually handles really nicely. The Fat Boy also handles nicely, much nicer than you would expect from a bike with such big fat tyres. This has got a steeper rake, about 30 degrees. We'll go into the exact figures in a moment. But this one, because of its fat tyres front and back, it likes to follow undulations in the road more. So when you go on country back lanes like we're on now, the roads are pretty terrible, and any dips and troughs in the road, the bike wants to follow it, which is less so on the Breakout. Now, because these have got long wheelbases, big wide tyres at the rear, they are not as sort of darty in their handling as most bikes on the market. You do have to wrestle them a bit more in the corners. That's also part of the enjoyment and character of these bikes, is that you really have to ride them. The bike doesn't do anything for you, you have to ride it. So you need to sort of understand the way that this bike handles. Once you're used to it, it's not bad handling at all. It's confidence inspiring. You can push it into the corners, and I really love this bike on the country lanes, and that might sound strange to say, but obviously these come from a country, America, where you've got big long open roads, and because of that long wheelbase and the raked out steering, it's so stable in a straight line.
One of the things you look for when you're choosing a cruiser is stability, and both these Harleys are very stable, like Darcy said, and the engagement when riding either of them is at the top of the scale, because you're very involved in these sorts of bikes. And literally this morning I picked up a Honda Goldwing, the touring model, and I felt like I was on a magic carpet ride but not involved. With these, they're very involving, and that's very soul satisfying, and we'll come to the engine and all that in a minute. But in terms of handling, if you want ultimate stability, then the Breakout is your answer. If you want a mixture of stability and, I wouldn't say sharpness, because with those big fat tyres at the front, I'll go over here and look at it while I'm talking about it. The Fat Boy is, I would say, a very interesting ride. It's a ride where you really do need to be on it and understand how you have to sort of manhandle it. But that gives it its enjoyable quality that the Fat Boy is unique for. So it's a great bike.
Now, if you like big Harley-Davidson V-twins, cruisers and proper geezers bikes, then make sure you hit subscribe, because we do plenty of those on this channel.
Now, obviously they both share the Harley-Davidson Milwaukee-Eight 117 cubic inch engine, and that gives you monstrous torque and huge pulling power, and they are fast motorcycles. The torque is so much that up hills you just open the throttle and it goes like nothing else. It's just incredible. And the sound, although very nice, is subdued by the regulations of today. So you can change the exhaust, and 99% of people that buy a Harley would do that. But on what?
A bit difficult at the minute, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, as Darcy was saying, it's a bit difficult still now because they've got an O2 sensor here in the back of the pipes, which makes it a little bit difficult because the ECUs are kind of tamper-proof now because of all the regulations and people sitting in offices on desks thinking they've got good ideas who have no idea how the world really works. So there'll be a workaround, I'm sure, coming very soon. I think there kind of is already, but it's not quite there. But in terms of the way the engine delivers its torque, it's all about torque, forget about power. It's monstrous, it's meaty, it's soul satisfying and very, very engaging to ride. With the 117 engine, it's not as happy at very low RPM as the 114 engine is. So below 2000, I'm saying, sort of from 15,000 RPM, 1500 RPM to 2000 RPM. It's not quite so happy. The 114 could handle that very low RPM much better, but from 2000 to 3,500, that's the sort of rev range you want to be in with these bikes. And for most situations, that's all you need because the torque is what delivers that shove.
And the next big difference between the two of these is the seating position and the comfort. Now the Breakout, I prefer the seat on the Breakout. It's got a sort of steeper back, so it kind of sits you securely in the seat. And you've got flatter bars, which are quite wide, really nice feel. And I love the foot peg position. You've got forward controls and they're pegs, which kind of means that the angle of your foot can be changed. Whereas with footboards, you're stuck to one sort of angle of your foot. You can move forward and back, but there's restrictions and pros and cons to each of them. But that's what I look like on the Breakout. I'm 6'1", and then on the Fat Boy, it's a very different feel. You've got more of a sweep back on the bars. It almost feels smaller when you sit on it. It feels more compact. And the seat, because it's sloped, it kind of pushes you forward, but also kind of tries to bend the bottom of my back into a weird position, which I find uncomfortable. So I would change the seat on this. You could probably put a Fat Breakout seat on this, and there's loads of seats that Harley do. So you could get it right for your height and your build. But this riding position is a bit different. You've obviously got footboards, so you can get all the way back there like a sports bike, and you can go all the way up here. So when you're on a long journey, it's nice to be able to move your knees, because your knees get a bit painful stuck in the same position for hours on end. Now the other big difference, of course, is the styling, and you can see that with your own eyes. But the Breakout is kind of more, it's still got a classic cruiser look to it, but it's a bit more modern and kind of more badass, if you like. It's really sort of in your face. I love the styling of this. I like this red colour as well. The rear end looks fantastic, and because it's so sort of raked out, it's almost got a chopper vibe to it. You've got these lovely wheels. Just everything about it is brilliant. I mean, all the parts are metal, high quality. You can hear a Harley in the distance. What a noise. The Fat Boy is more of a classic Harley cruiser look. This looks like the Fat Boy did in the 1980s, but it's got beefier over the years. It really is beautiful. I think it's probably more sophisticated in its styling and perhaps a little bit more gentlemanly, but it's still a big beefy Harley-Davidson.
Now, of course, I'm going to say that the mudguard isn't big enough, because if it came down to here and to there, then you wouldn't get mucky on the bike when it's wet and horrible. The rear is cut short on both bikes to show off that big fat tyre, so that's kind of necessary. And of course we have this stupid thing on the back in the UK, which is that big, monstrous. Now the Breakout used to have a little tiny digital dial inside the handlebar clamp, which didn't really suit the bike. Although it was minimalistic, it was not very nice. But this beautiful speedometer in the centre, where it should be, right on the handlebars, is right in your eye line. It's the perfect place to put it, and it's very nice to look at. So well done, Harley, there. And all these shiny chrome bits all over the bike. The quality is just at the top of the scale. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning. And a beautiful little headlight there, very classic looking. Nice fat forks. Absolutely gorgeous looking bike, as is this. And you've got a sort of different style down the centre of the tank here, and you've got your speedometer, an analog one, analog in the middle there. Again, beautiful to look at. And I love this beautiful fat front end that you have on a Fat Boy, which is unique to this Fat Boy. A lot of people have said, well, not some people have said, they don't like the sort of flatness of this lights around. I love it. I think it looks really good from sitting on the bike and from standing looking at it. It's beautiful to look at. Big, chunky, fat, beefy, proper man's bike. It's lovely. Now, the rear seat is minimalistic, so you need to be petite, not like me. But it's okay if the person at the front opened the throttle and you weren't hanging on, you'd be off the back in a second. So you've got to be aware of that. And it's the same on the Breakout. It's the same rear seat, pretty much. And again, the way it feels, I say, you know, with the torque that these have, you'll be shooting off the back unless you're holding on for dear life. And there's a little strap there. You've got to trust the strap. I'm sure it's been tested, so it's all right. But it's not a sort of bike you'd want to go very far on the back. Of course, Harley do a whole range of touring bikes for that, as do other manufacturers. But yeah, it's a short ride. Pick up someone at a bar, take them home, that kind of seat.
Now the price isn't really a deciding factor between either of these bikes because they're both pretty much the same price. The Breakout is $23,499,000 in the US or £23,995,000 in the UK. The Fat Boy, $22,599 in the US and £23,495 in the UK. So about £500 difference between the two. So that's not going to keep you up at night if you went for the Breakout over the Fat Boy and vice versa. But I think these two are my favourite Harley-Davidsons in their current lineup. But I would like to see, and we recently did a video about a custom Hydroglide remake, like a reimagined Hydroglide based on a 1940s bike. And it was beautiful. And I would love to see Harley come up with a classic looking cruiser to compete with the new Indian Chief Vintage, because that new Indian Chief Vintage is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And you don't really need to change anything in the styling, nor do you with these, but they're very different. So I do really like that classic cruiser look. So Harley, if you're watching, please take note. And lots of the comments have said they want to see it. So if you're one of those people, make sure you comment in this video that you want them to do that, because they might be looking, who knows.
So to summarise and to help you make a decision if that's what you're trying to do, which one would you choose? Now, the Fat Boy is iconic because of its past, its history with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. So if you want that kind of image, that's the one to go for. The Breakout is the one to go for if you prefer that style, that extra stability and that roominess. It's a big bike. It feels bigger than the Fat Boy in terms of the way the handlebars, the foot position and the triangle fit you as a person. So that's the taller man's bike, really. In terms of engine and stuff like that, they're the same. In terms of handling, the Breakout turns a little sharper because you've got a narrower front wheel. The Fat Boy is a little more of a wrestle, so it's engaging. So hopefully that will make you understand the differences between these two bikes and to make that choice. But either choice is the right choice because they're both incredible motorcycles. So let us know if you've got one or if you're thinking about it, and we'll answer any questions you have. So which of these two beautiful motorcycles would we personally choose? Because either choice would be the perfect choice because they're amazing bikes, both of them. For us, it's the Breakout, and the reason being, we like the raked out forks, which gives that extra stability, coupled with the slightly narrower front tyre, gives that slightly sharper carve into the turns, because that's got very fat tyres. Also, the seat is more comfortable because it's more vertical here, and you can get your bum stuck into the seat and it holds you in place. Like Darcy said, that sort of scoops you a bit and you sort of slide about a bit more. And I think the riding position for being tall is good. I'm 6'2". This fits beautifully. It's a lovely riding position. So on the whole, the Breakout is our top pick, but we would not be in the least bit disappointed with a Fat Boy.